Greetings, class, and welcome to my analogy speech. Today, I will be comparing myself to. Hold on. This big guy. Let me put him to the side. So, as you saw, today I will be comparing myself not to a big stuffed animal, but to a bear. There are many reasons why I feel identified with bears, and I will explain to them briefly. I would like to start by saying that bears are often seen as ferocious and destructive animals by society. But that's often that's often seen when you don't know the animal. And let me explain myself. So I think that this applies to me because oftentimes people see probably another side of me that it's not actually me because they only see it on the outside. And bears on the outside seem, like I just said previously, they might seem ferocious and aggressive. And they're much more better than what society thinks. Let me explain. Some good traits of bears are that they're very polite, they're empathetic, they're intelligent, they're loving, and they're caring around the people that they care. So bears will be kind with bears. And you might ask, well, how does this apply to you? And I would respond by saying that oftentimes people tend to judge me on the outside and say that I might look aggressive, I might look reactive when they don't really know me. Because when I'm around those who I really get to know, I am caring, I'm loving, and amongst other traits that are not what I might seem on the outside. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I feel identified with bears. Basically, or essentially, because they're seen as something else on the outside rather than getting to know them in the inside. The second point I would like to make is that bears are introverts. And like me, we kind of struggle to be around people. Bears often tend to react in an aggressive manner when they're obligated to be around humans. And that's because they like to be with their own species. Bears like to be with bears. And even though they go outside, they don't really like human interaction. And that's why they tend to react as aggressively as they do when they encounter things that they don't like by humans. And that applies to me as well, because when I'm into the unknown and I'm with people that I don't really know, I do react to things because I'm in the unknown, and I, of course, demonstrate a reaction from my side. Another point that I would like to make is that bears are unaware animals. And I think this one is my favorite because bears can go through a straight rail, and even though the rail is straight, they're not looking forward to finishing it. And the reason is because they get easily distracted by minor things on their way. For example, if they see an animal running, they perhaps may go after it. Or if they see some yummy food that they smell, they would go also after it. And I find it funny because I am very distracted. I'm sorry. I can go exactly through a straight path and get distracted by, like, let's say, my cell phone, my computer, by social media. I am very, very unaware person. And if something catches me by, I will totally get myself lost. And also, when I think of bears, I think about a famous Disney movie called Brother Bear. And I find it relevant to my speech because, as I said before, this movie portrays human interaction with wild animals, and in this case, they're bears. And I find it interesting because if you know the characters, Kenai and Koda, those are the main bears, and they're very, I guess you could say, they're very, what's the word? They're kind to each other, and they're very noble beings. And the thing is that since people see them as dangerous beings, as destructive animals, they tend to attack them. But bears aren't really like that. In the movie, the bears are kind, they are peaceful beings, and they just enjoy being around nature. And I find that very interesting because um, that's exactly how I feel that sometimes society sees me, and that's why I chose to compare myself to a bear. So, and finally, I would like to, of course, compare myself physically to a bear. I think that's pretty obvious, but in case you didn't notice, um, I am pretty big. I am hairy and I'm bulky, just like a bear is. So, just to recap, um, I am physically like a bear. I have good traits like a bear. I am an introvert like a bear, and I am unaware like a bear. And finally, I would like to end up saying that it would be like a little reflection towards people that often society, even though society might see you a certain way, if they don't know you, they can't say who you are. And that's how I see um, this analogy towards me and the bears. So that would be it for my analogy. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for listening. And I hope you have a great night. Thank you.